Encapsulation is a mechanism to keep your data and code together as a single unit. It also means to hide your data in order to make it safe from outside interference and misuse. What does this mean? The best way to understand encapsulation is to look at the example of a medical capsule, where the drug is always safe inside the capsule. Similarly, through encapsulation, the methods and variables of a class are well hidden and safe. Now, in object orientation, this refers to the idea of taking our attributes and then taking our behaviors and bundling them together in the same unit, the same class. But it's more than that. We also want to restrict access to the inner workings of the class or any object based on that class. And this is referred to as information hiding or data hiding. The principle is that an object should not reveal anything about itself except what is absolutely necessary for other parts of the application to work. For example, a car encapsulates hundreds of bits of information about your engine, such as how much you are accelerating, the pitch of the surface you are on, and the position of the gear. You, as the user, have only one method of affecting this complex encapsulation, by moving the gear. You cannot affect the transmission by using the turn signal or wipers. Thus, the gear is a well-defined interface to the transmission. Further, what occurs inside the transmission does not affect objects outside the transmission. For example, shifting gears does not turn on the headlights. Because an automatic transmission is encapsulated, any car manufacturer can implement any way they want. But from the driver's point of view, they all work the same. This same idea can be applied to programming. The power of encapsulated code is that everyone knows how to access it and thus can use it regardless of the implementation details and without fear of unexpected side effects. Let me give you another example. If we have a bank account class, we don't want some other part of our application to be able to change the balance of any object without going through the deposit or the withdrawal methods. So we can hide the balance attribute. We can use the deposit and withdrawal methods from other parts of the application and they can change the balance, but it can't be directly changed from outside the class. Since the purpose of a class is to encapsulate complexity, there are mechanisms inside the class to do this. Each method or variable in a class can be marked as private or public. The public interface of a class represents everything that external users of the class need to know or may know. The private methods and data can only be accessed by code that is member of the class. Therefore, any other code that is not a member of the class, that is outside of the class, cannot access a private method or variable. Since the private members of a class can only be accessed by other parts of your program through the class's public methods that you defined, you can ensure that your data is safe. So the idea of encapsulation is that you encapsulate your object's attributes and methods, and then you hide everything about that object except what is absolutely necessary to expose.